like, everybody has their low points, and, like,
Yeah.
that's kind of what, I don't mean to sound like your wrestling coach, but that's kind of what defines your character, is, like, what you do when you're out of ideas, when things are not going your way, when it's wet. You know, like, I went to work every day this last week, and I walked to work. It's like a 40-minute walk. And it was raining, and my little shoes here have loads of holes in them, so, like, I show up to work, my feet are soaked, and I spend the next 8 hours shuffling around on my feet. They're soaked. And I take them off at the end of the day, I look at them, and I think, this is what my feet will look like when I'm 80. If I make it that long, which I won't, because the men in my family, they party hard, and they die young.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah. So, you know. But the women, they fucking last forever.
Ladies always last longer.
No, I don't mean longer. I mean for fucking ever. They do not go down. And same thing apparently with Caitlin's family.
That's a little discourteous.
Well, how is it discourteous?
Because they never go down?
Well,
Sorry.
I mean, Caitlin's grandma is 95. And she's leading aerobics classes. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I still do holds to that courting. I mean, it's usually attributed to like Lincoln or something, but they say it's not the
it's not the size,
the years in the life, but the life in the years. You know, it's
yeah, totally. Totally
I do have like a kind of a woo existential belief that like you actually don't die until it's absolutely ready. Like until you're yeah, I do believe that. Like
so.
I think so for sure. I think you do not pass away until like basically you've signaled that you're ready to go. Whether or not you realize it. I think so.
Really?
Yeah, for real.
What about children who die before they get brains?
You could argue that, like, they just fucking cram for the assignment and they got out ahead of you, so don't be frustrated,
right,
dude.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
I will say in that show we were talking about, The Righteous Gemstones, like, there's a bit where one character, Danny McBride's character, is comforting another who he's shot. And this guy is bleeding out on the carpet and he's dying. And he's asking, Danny McBride's character to pray over him. And, he says that, like, Danny McBride at one point, his character says, like, maybe, in the course of this prayer, he says, maybe this guy will make a better angel than he made a man. And then the guy passes away. So I do think maybe that, like, my mom kind of believes in this stuff. I don't entirely to the same degree, but I do think that you come down here, like, for whatever reason, to, like, learn certain lessons.
Wait, I come down here?
People, like, in general. I think, like, I do think there's a structure. And maybe that's just me trying to, like, put some level of hieroglyphic encapsulation on it so I can roughly understand the geography of life through my personal lens.
This is what I don't know. This is maybe what separates me from...
But what do you think? I mean, do you believe in afterlife?
No,
at all?
No, completely no.
Do you not believe in a continuation of consciousness?
No, but my point is, and I hear people, like, always being so obsessed with these questions, and I think, like, who cares? Like, you're here now, and whether or not something happens after, you have no control over, you don't know, and no amount of fussing is going to change what happens when you die. What if you actually go straight, after you die, your asshole is rendered on a pike for the rest of life? Your immortal life, essentially, when you die. What will that change about what you do right here and now? Absolutely nothing. Are you going to try and live a little longer? Is that going to change your ultimate fate? No. Right? Because you're not in control of literally anything. A boulder could... We live at the base of a cliffside. Boulders can come and they can fall on us. Right? I had a neighbor's house who I lived just over there, and we had hiked up his back property, and I was taking a rest, and I put my foot up just like that. I wasn't putting any pressure on it, and I accidentally pushed it forward, and this fucking thing was like a 100-pound rock, and it started rolling, like not unlike the Limp Bizkit Stone.
Rolling.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I was worried he was going to punch a hole through his house, but mercifully there was like a short little plateau, so it kind of just perched there.
Yeah.
But, you know, fucking, it happens. Mudslides happen. It's just like a reality of building on a valley, essentially. So, like, any number of things could happen to us, and we're not in control. I mean, I thought you were a big philosopher guy.
I am, and relatively.
One of the biggest, punchiest guys these days, especially in the manosphere, is Marcus Aurelius, right?
Yeah,
What's his big thing? What's his big thing?
The idea of, like, not letting anything affect you.
Well, that's the Stoic thing.
Know.
But his big thing is, he's loads of big things, but his biggest thing is about how, what is the difference between a life that is, I'm paraphrasing, but 2 weeks in length versus 200 years in length? It's infinitesimally small relative to the span of life itself, right? So as long as you accept that you're insignificant, which, as ants taught us, we are, you know, then you can live at peace with yourself. You don't have to burden yourself with these utterly pointless ruminations on what happens after we die, because
I agree.
Your death is not in your control. Your life is marginally in your control, right? It's like totally up to what your parents did.
But I think the existence of death throws a sort of like magical wrench into the entire schema of how we live, you know, because like you just don't know, you know. It's like and it'd be easy to say like, oh well, it all ends, or oh it all continues, but nobody knows for real, you know, which is why anybody who's still alive telling you about what death is like is, and I apologize because I know that there are people who have those experiences, but I just don't believe them, because like if you're alive, you're alive. If you're dead, you're dead. And anyone that you can talk to doesn't know what the other side is like. By definition,
no,
oil and water, fire.
God, you know, you're telling me every time
fire and earth,
it was
like
a light at the end of the tunnel,
dude.
Like,
and there's like theories to that. There's like all these bullshit theories.
They're bullshit.
But
it's just like
I just think it's like
AI figures out what actually happens at the end.
But I think, don't you think that's insane that basically that like the entire human race every single morning has had to contend with this fact that like, oh, you know, I'm slaving to build the pyramids, or I'm working in this fucking soulless cubicle,
they
or
don't
I'm
contend with that.
Hoeing the field, but I think
they don't think about it
intuitively, subconsciously. Like, you know, at some point you're like, I can die. Not even I'm going to die, but you know that like a rock falls on you the wrong way. You trip and you hit your head.
Yeah.
You stay underwater too. Like, you know that there is some existential state that follows you like a shadow.
I've been on rollerblades, okay?
Listen,
I've countenanced death itself.
I know death. All right? I've been to the skate rink. You seen those teenagers? They fear nothing.
They fear nothing. Like, damn, have you ever been on a skateboard?
Yeah, barely.
Okay,
barely.
Fucking, I did a half pipe once, and it was the most pathetic little kiddie half pipe ever. And I was like, I don't know, man. Ooh.
But the thing is, you even in that innocent scenario, you fall the wrong way, you trip, and you conk your head somewhere, and you're
yeah.
That's it.
But my point in bringing that up was not to say that like you have to live your life in fear of dying. It's not true. I mean, no. I also rode a motorcycle at one point. Yes, I did.
Well, you
before
should.
you say no, I did.
I think I believe you. I believe you.
I did, and I took my license is motorcycle certified. I'm
Your
cool.
Driver's license?
Yeah.
Damn.
I'm driver M for
Damn.
motorcycle. You're probably C for pussy.
Yep. C for pussy. It says that on my license, actually. In my Wisconsin license, it's like, oh, C for pussy.
C for pussy.
Sorry there, bud.
No personal apology.
Yeah,
like.
sorry about that. But it looks like by government records, you're a pussy.
You're a fucking coward.
You're a coward. You're making it sound Irish.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't fucking
What's
know
come
anymore.
over me?
Oh, the beautiful state of Wisconsin.
I've summoned the Irish Spring.
Yes, there they come.
But like, no, I don't know. It's like, you know, I feel like you can comfortably live your life. Like you're talking about the slaves, right? In Egypt, I think they were very busy. You know?
Yeah.
I think they were too. Like I am not a slave, but I have a very terrible job that I hate. I have a grueling commute, which involves like a long ass walk. Sometimes it's raining, and most of the time I'm like a very dumb guy. I'm like, I don't need an umbrella. Won't be wet enough, and when I get to work, I'll be fine.
Tough it out. Yeah.
And it's always fucking brutal and miserable, and like, and the work is just like so fucking excessively physical. It's a lot of steps. It's a lot of standing. It's a lot of stalking as well. And at no point am I not begging for death. At no point am I not beckoning an alternate reality. I mean, listen, and also there's different takes, right? Like the thing I like about, for example, the Bushido Code, other than the swords.
Yeah, the swords are pretty cool.
The swords are the best. But my second favorite part is that it's all about being in a dream. And your real life starts after this one. That's pretty cool. I like that idea.
What? I mean, and that's the thing, too, is like, we assume, you know, I don't mean to get to, again, like woo-woo here, but it's
Go
like,
there.
You assume that life is like the only life that you live. And I don't believe necessarily in like past lives, like maybe metaphorically, but like, what I'm saying is like,
I was a pharaoh in my last one.
were you actually?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
What
It's
made you...
certified by a woman who lives in Brighton Beach.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah.
A pharaoh.
Yeah. I was a pharaoh in my last life.
What was your name?
Just fucking Rob.
Just Rob?
Yeah, Rob.
Rob one?
Rob Uncommon.
Rob.
Rob Uncommon.
I mean...
The Ankh Bringer.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice. He brings the good Ankh. Brings the Ankh. I like to think of an ancient Egyptian club just called the Ankh.
Yeah.
Or Ankh, right? We'll try to get into Ankh tonight, man. But, no, actually, speaking of, like, things in ancient Egypt, that's what I wanted to say, too, is, like, thinking about, you know, I wrote about this once, like, the idea that most of humankind has had to face a grueling existence, like, day in, day out, morning, you know, sundown, sunup, and people choose, they still choose to wake up, get out of bed, and do whatever, you know?
Yeah.
Which you could chalk up to self-preservation or like, oh, that's just what you're supposed to do. But looking at the situations people have been in, and maybe you could say like, oh, people had families to live for, or they had, you know, all these other things. I don't believe that if there wasn't some greater pull, I think most people, like, I think it's a miracle most people don't die in their sleep. Like from
nobody dies in their sleep.
Revenge of the Sith, like style, like they lost the will to live, like.
Dude, nobody dies in their sleep. Did you know that? They have a violent
Can I have a little bit of this?
Go for
actually?
it. Yeah, that was the better one. This one's almost dead, but we can go out and grab another. No one dies in their sleep. They wake up violently because death has come for them.
You don't
And
think
they
so?
go, ah! And then they grip their chests, and then they die. No, for real, though. I mean, obviously it's not that dramatic, but no one actually dies in their sleep. They wake up for it, shit themselves, and then they die.
I always thought as a kid that'd be a nice way to go, just dying in your sleep. I always thought that's how it happened.
No, man. You can't have that. Sorry. You can die in a coma if you like.
What's your ideal afterlife? If you do believe in that, like, just paint the picture. What's your ideal?
My ideal afterlife is it's you, me, and Caitlin, and we're all just doing this for eternity.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. I like this. I mean, I like...
Yeah.
That, I mean, like...
The thing is, life would be great without all the pain. Life would be paradise without the pain. You know?
Just do this, but there's no rent.
yeah.
You know,
it's like what?
And groceries are cheaper as well. That'd be great.
Well, like what? Like, and that's the question that like philosophers have, like, and religious religious people go an extra step further and they say, well, there is something to live for, and usually in some case at the very core they're kind of right. I think to a degree, like, there are greater forces in the world that you can account for, that I think to think that you would understand, you know, everything as a human being on the ground, it's like there's no way, because even with all the stuff we know now, like all the stuff that they didn't even know back when they were writing stuff like, you know, the Torah or the Bible, like, you know, there's space and all this other shit.
Who knows who wrote that shit, though?
Yeah, probably aliens.
Probably ancient GPT.
It's probably some shit posters. They're probably like the ancient equivalent of like, fuck, well, this guy...
Who's to say that they didn't just collect all the graffiti on the walls of Roman bathhouses?
I would love, actually...
Just like, I wish you guys would stop doing this.
I love the idea that, like, the apostles, like, the only reason they wrote the Gospels is because they were like Jesus' friends, but then the friendship became like way more intense than they thought it would be. They were like, whoa, wait, I thought we were just like hanging out.
We were just hanging out.
Like, there's a whole...
There's a lot of touching now.
There's a lot of like murder. There's a lot of like, yeah, but I like...
Also, sorry.
Do you have to pee? I kind of have to be.
Oh, you do?
You have to
Excellent.
I think we take a break.
Let's
now,
do it real quick,
and then
I think we should both go and do it outside.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah,
but we can hold hands while we do it.
Let's hold hands while we pee, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about the...
And I'll hold yours while you hold mine.
Yeah,
because mine goes...
Yeah, I have to have a stabilizer. Yeah, I can't pee freehand.
I can't do it
I'm
either.
Not a monster. Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
Unless it's like a big urine wall. Then I can go like this.
Oh, yeah,
and I just like, alpha male flexing, hands behind my head.
I wish I could do that. All right. So we'll be back, and then we'll talk about the West Village girls.
Yes.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.